I hear the voices inside my head, see voices behind the wall, uplifting the underdog, we fighting above the law.
Hi, Vicky. Hi, Sharon. Thank you, babe. Lil Wang, Joe, Darzilla, Cool Gamer, Melissa. Hi, gorgeous. Just roll with it. Sassia, Pam, Canadian Cookie, Katie. Hi, everyone. Vexing, Patty Ponytail, Southern Mountain Girl. Excuse me, Nanny of two boys. Gail, Dana, Tasha. Hi, guys. So last night, apparently, I had a live on, and I have no idea what the heck that was about. There was nothing, I had nothing scheduled. So it had taken a live that I had scheduled, and it was like cloned. It was so weird. Hey, Sabrina. Hey, Boo. Hey, Zoe. Lips. P. Eastman, Rosie Mae, Robin. Hi. Yeah, so that was very, very weird last night, wasn't it? Hey, Melody. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Well, you guys, I had my first week of life coaching, and I've had a blast. I have just had an absolute blast. I have 3 official clients who are on the schedule. And let me tell you, they are awesome, and the time flies by, and I just really enjoy getting to know these folks. So thank you so much, everyone. It's really awesome. Lil Wang, Melody Murphy. I hope you're having a great night as well. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you. Hey, Balance. Fuck you, Jody Sue. Yeah. Right? She sure has been rattled lately, hasn't she? Hey, Seth. Hey, Bomber. Grace, Margaret. Excuse me. Trinda. Did you guys ever think you'd see the day that AB would be in Voices Behind the Walls chat? It's awesome. Love it. We love it. That's how much everyone hates Jody Sue. It has actually brought people together. ATS News, good to see you. Deets on the streets. Okay, let's get this party started, if you will. So, Oh, part 2, by the way. No, don't believe her lies. Don't believe her little scandal of she struck me and took it down. Not true. Didn't happen. It actually is because of the song I played. What song was it? God, it was an oldie too. The Final Countdown. Gavel Geeks. Yep, the Final Countdown. So it actually blocked it. So right now I have it editing out the song. It should be up now though. But yeah, that's what happened. It had nothing to do with Jody Sue striking me. So don't buy that bullshit. Not true. I posted it to even prove it. So I had heard that she was saying she got the strike on me. No. So now we'll go with part 3. Now we had gotten through the 8th video before she had even mentioned Summer's name. Hi, Just Shani. PJ Pepper, howdy. Grace Paris. Jody was admittedly off her meds during the week of June 15. She sure was, remember? And she had said she stopped taking her meds to see if she could get her doctor's attention, right? Am I right? Hi, Carla. Now, tomorrow we're going to have the part 4 to this, which is going to be just open panel for us to discuss what we've just seen in all of these rewinds. And then I have Tammy Barnes doing a card reading on Miss Jody Sue's past and future. We don't give a shit about the present. Hey, Chris, Kim Maple. Hey, Terry, Stephanie Michelle, Cat and Chat. Good to see everyone. All right, let's pull it up here. Again, I will give you your trigger warning that if you are driving, please turn this podcast off, or whatever you want to call it, off until you are home or pulled over, because it is dangerous to drive and listen to Jody Sue. I do equate it to the same as taking several shots and then driving. That is the feeling you get when listening to her. It quickly makes you feel hungover. So no, we left off on video. We're gonna take it back to 8. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the sound all right? Hi, Tammy. Did you watch her first live on Benny's channel? It was hilarious watching him. Yeah. Thor, hey, brother. All you need is spat your water everywhere. Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
But I think I owe JD an apology. Okay, so I'm back.
We're going to put her to 1.5 as usual.
Instead of leaving it stationary. Because it definitely needs to charge. So, oh, there was something just a second ago I knew I'd accidentally left out, and I don't really recall what that was now. I know that it was a very strange, perfect storm that created all of this, to where Summer was even able to go missing. And,
what the fuck? Again with that, right?
Like I had said, any other time, and we would have, I don't know how anybody would have ever pulled this off, and I still, for the life of me, do not. Because
what
even just minutes before she
Sharon.
vanished, if anybody had asked me if I thought one of our children could be taken from an air, I would have laughed. And trust me, as a mother and as the mother of the only other girl in that hollow, and the
trust
only other,
her, guys. Trust her.
I had the only other children in there, in a particular road, but the only other one with a daughter. And obviously,
Dr.
like JD had struck me wrong enough to warn him about my own and about all of the neighborhood children and grandchildren and things in the surrounding. But I keep an eye on mine even in town, because, around here it was pretty mild, and now we've got like the big rings coming in, and stuff this place is not used to, so it's working well here. So they're hitting smaller towns. We've had quite a few things happen in the past couple of years, including at the park that Candace happened to be at that day. There have been quite a few incidents there to where most of us had stopped going or taking our children to there's a playground there. But it's beautiful. And it's also set up for special needs children. It's one of the better ones around here, but there have been so many pervs at it and doing crazy things that a lot of us
pervs at it
and in the surrounding area had stopped going. I think there were several, news pieces, but I know that there was Facebook posts about it a lot.
I'm
and
wondering
pictures
hearts.
of the men they caught. You know, I mean, so
We don't know
anyway,
what you mean.
and
Do we
Walmarts,
ever
things
know
like
what the
that. There
fuck
have been a
she
lot of
means?
incidents in the
No.
past couple of years picking up something this place in particular not been used to, sort of like the money scams and things, and like the fake legs and all that. That this place in particular wasn't used to. Bigger city stuff, they are, but you know, it's moving here because obviously easy marks, right? So either way, pretty vigilant about her, and when you see me look over that way, she's over there. So
Hi, who said what?
anyway,
Where's
and she has her
Summer?
headphones in.
BJ, welcome.
I've asked,
Iris.
because this particular topic it's hard for her, it's hard for all of us, and
What the fuck, man?
anyway, so JD had happened. He'd hit my gut enough to, you know, warrant me saying something about my daughter and that particular spot and other things. But like I said, he's pretty low on the list, and honestly, I kind of owe the guy an apology.
Oh, what the
I
fuck?
was wondering why it was a little strange that for once out of 26 years, I was allowed to be the spokesman for this particular Voldemort pack. And when even Voldemort had stood up and been like, "Oh, Mom let her speak because she's done her research, this and the other," and the whole time I've been under the impression that the spike in question on the original driveway, that the reason it was where it was, even on the 77 map, was because of the way the watershed works from the very top of the hill where the main house is. And they had changed it, made it look like that spike was in the main road, but that it actually wasn't. You know, like, say the spike would have been in, like,
Hey, Sunshine.
just general grass area, okay? Say in, like, 1800 or whatever. But then the watershed from the top of the hill, the way it transferred over the years, and trickled down, would eat it and then made it become one and look like it was actually in the original roadway. And I'd asked specifically about this. Thought I'd made sure of that. And I was kind of, I don't know, assumptions, right? So when JD got there, I noticed it was a little strange that Pseudo, and I didn't notice till after all this went down that it was asked of Pseudo mother-in-law.
It will induce a nanny nap.
So I didn't really honestly say much, because they're pretty particular about things.
Okay, Seth. So this is the neighbor to Summer Wells, and she likes to say that she is a witness and insert herself. Hi, Hummingbird. And say, hi, Sandra. Hi, everyone. And say that she really should be the only person that we listen to within the Summer case, because she was right there basically sharing a yard with the Wells, so that we should really only listen to her and whatever. She's a liar. She is, in my opinion, a person of interest. She has not protect children at all. In fact, she says she knew there was drugs being sold over there so that Summer and other little girls could be sexually assaulted. So, yeah, and then thinks that we're all crazy for investigating further into her. So, yeah, that's who this lady is. She's crazy and guilty of something, and she can't keep her lies straight to save her life. Hi, Zena. I mean, exactly that. She quite literally cannot keep her lies straight to save her life. And she said that by the time the truth ever comes out of Summer, that she will be dead. Yeah.
Really say much.
Can't make this shit up.
Anyway, and it never really came
up. Hey, Bama.
I did tell JD that was the one thing the family would fight over, and that was the thing. That was the only point. That's exactly where JD had parked, was the entrance in between those two no trespassing signs to the original and main driveway.
Hi, Tiggs.
So, then it was several days into the summer thing.
I'm sorry. Is my sound okay, or is it still doing that static? I can't quite tell. I hope it's okay. Thank you for being here, Thor. Yes, thank you, everyone. And to my mods, thank you for setting the time aside and helping this be a great chat and platform.
Before I was kind of looked at and told, nope, that's where it's always been. That is actually in the road. So what I told JD wasn't, I don't know, I was manipulated and sort of omitted to, and Annabella. I guess that way.
She told JD?
You know, and so then I checked it out with other family members, people who had passed, who were close to the original property owner prior to, and that was most certainly
now
the case.
This was from 7 months ago is when it was posted.
reason the second driveway was actually built was because in that Survey Mountain 77 was touching, they were afraid that that would become the right of way, and so they built the second driveway that's used now to ensure that could not happen.
Okay.
So there you go. Me and JD both were just, and I think a lot of it was, it falls into the, I think a lot of it falls into what was happening to us for years there. Weren't really allowed to build on or do anything or this and the other. I did manage to eventually get agreement to build on a bathroom. Nobody would let a septic be put in. And I think
septic to be put in?
Such an issue
what?
About the property for everybody was so contamination and things weren't found, and the especially the giant trash pile and that sort of thing, and the well and the creek being so close and whatever, because that would bring trouble.
The creek that she had to walk through to make sure that the scent wouldn't be picked up and all that. Y'all remember that?
It was part of what we had to endure there, and it was part of the control there. And I warned people that would eventually come down the pipeline.
Of course she did.
Didn't matter until. And then I was used and manipulated to in a way where everybody could say, so.
Of course she was.
Anyway, but I think I owe JD an apology. However, I also think, whatever. Anyway,
so she never
that
really
was
wants to get into
until
right, Dr. Phil.
Summer vanished. Some of the last messages with I and others just in those last minutes before and the last hours before were about the property drama and about all these things. And it seems so silly now in comparison that that's what everybody was concerned. However, JD being there the day prior and wondering if he was going to come back and it was going to be super weird or, cops showing up or whatever, kept me on a hyper alert. Super hyper alert. I was anyway, like I said, but after him being there and the weirdness, it kept me on. But somehow I still missed what happened next. And I still can't tell you how. And I wish every day I could tell you how I missed.
She missed what happened next, or she helped plan and facilitate what was going to happen next. Because this one right here wanted full revenge. Okay? She planned exactly what was going to happen to Summer Wells this day.
What happened next? I wish every day I could just tell me how I missed what happened next. So, anyway, I'm going to end this one here, and I'll be back.
So you know the drill, thumbs up, thumbs down. Have you learned anything? She did start talking about Summer now, but have we learned anything? Thumbs up, yeah. Thumbs down, no. Still haven't learned anything. Now let's hear. Now we're on video 9. So we got through video 8 before she even mentioned Summer's name. Now she's mentioning Summer. However, she's at the same time editing as she talks and trying to, I guess, somewhat make an alibi, but at the same time, her motive is showing. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Yeah, I see those middle fingers. All right, here we are, video 9. Here we go.
The next day, the day Summer went missing.
The next day. Okay, so June. Now we're on to June 15th, 2021.
Pretty normal day. Kind of goofing off maybe at JD's expense a little because I still had no clue what I'd been used for. So I thought all kinds of things. Anyway, and that was the high drama, right? And then we were just like normal for the kids and I. Most days health-wise, especially at that point, were not good for me. I'd been on the thyroid meds.
Here we go.
Really hard time.
Here we go with the
I had to get all that done. Anyway,
right? She's so sick, right? So she could have done nothing.
Oh, sorry.
That day, she was just so sick. She could barely do anything, but she was hypervigilant that day.
So the kids and I were in the cabin. The doors open, the windows open, no TV or anything going. For the most part, the cabin itself was pretty empty. I had a bed in there, fish tank, that type of thing, but it was actually a pretty good feeling day, so air conditioning wasn't on, anything like that. Felt pretty nice. And at the time, it hadn't been, and it still
Hi, Frankie.
wasn't last time, just a few days ago, insulated
Hi,
or
Unique Trauma.
drywall up or anything.
Gabba
So,
Geeks.
you could basically,
Hi,
and it was a
Princess.
different angle than the house, so sounds were a little different to it than, say, the house was. And it was a little closer to Candace's than the house. So I'm at the head of the bed, so if like you were up towards your headboard, and in the middle, I was kind of in that area of the bed. My oldest was to my left, but around where, like, if you were sitting Indian style at your headboard, he was kind of to my left and down a little past where knees Indian style would be. And my daughter was towards my feet and to the left and closest to the cabin doors, which were just 2-3 feet, maybe, most, from her. And we were laughing, cutting up, sharing jokes. At that point, it wasn't even at JD's expense or anything. It was just usual us having a good time together, especially while Voldemort was not present.
She's so all over the place. Wow.
We're pretty loud when together. We're talkers.
What's she doing?
They're mine. So we're kind of like pretty happy. Always kind of worried when left to our own little devices. Just chattering like we normally do, joking, goofing off, having a great time together. And I remember there being jokes, laughter, definitely talking over one another, right? And the kids were being pretty loud. That day there hadn't been a lot of noise other than the woodcutters, with the two crews and such. They cut out a little while before the next things happened. There were several points in the day where I'd heard noises outside, in the roadway below us, other places up and down, even with woodcutters, and it had brought me out of the cabin to check the banks and to look down and make sure the roadway was clear and no cars were parked there and JD wasn't back doing anything crazy. And then at one point, as we get closer to the minutes that I never really saw anything that day. No cars really sitting, not much of anything every time I was brought out of the cabin. And my oldest would have to help me because, the stress from JD being there had hit pretty hard. And like I said, my body was kind of in, it was difficult then. As you can imagine, I know looking and seeing me talk, it looks like I'm all, that is not really how it is. And even then it was really hard. And it's been months since that. And I'm still not on thyroid meds again. And it's really difficult just to move. I'm sure you're noticing my speech is getting worse as this is, and my mouth looks different and heavier. And as it's getting later and stress is catching up from yesterday, the droop's there. You'll see this. It's the pucker muscles they had to cut through. So it'll look heavier and like my face is dragging. Anyway, so the point is that I felt pretty bad after the stress of JD and that whole drama. And my muscles and things were already cramping with that my thyroid med stuff at that point. Because I was expecting radiation, and that was the first time. So at least the 6 or 8 weeks I'd been off, I think, at that point. Anyway,
Anyway,
right now from the last radiation, it's pericarditis and heart problems and things, so a little difficult. So my oldest had helped me out of the cabin a few times that day to look and see with my PTSD how original.
So her son was helping her out of the cabin every day.
Be nosy.
What the fuck?
So there wasn't anything really abnormal that I saw or heard until
there wasn't.
There was a point in there during the day, and it was after the tree cutters had stopped sawing, the clearers, whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
So somewhere around 3, they cut out, and at some point after that, I heard a car door slam. It was something like a road that kind of faces the right of way that also cuts through this property too. That splits this one in parts and goes back. There's another road that faces it that's named Simpson. Not to be confused with another one across the main road. So I hear what I feel like is a car door coming from there, and that hit me as odd.
Coming
And I think we go out at that point and look around, didn't see anything.
Okay.
And, we ended up going back in. But somewhere in that point, and I had asked for help at one point, making sure I was right on this, without being late or anything. But, we heard
being late.
car door. Just one. Never heard an engine or a car
Hey,
leave,
Aaron.
even though it was quiet. We walked the bank for quite a few minutes. And it looked like one of the survey lines was down to me. So I asked him to see if somebody cut it, see what was going on. It looked like the tires down in the parking space I referred to earlier had been moved to me at the angle I was at.
Huh.
And my oldest was nice enough to walk that survey line. There was a branch on it. And he removed it. The survey line come back up. And then he went a little further down and was to the right. And looked, and the tires hadn't been moved. And while he was doing that, and while we were on the bank, there was a car that went up Candace's driveway. Now, the angle I was at and where he was at, I still don't know why I asked. I know that something was wrong with it, is the reason I asked him.
Okay.
Because had there not been, I wouldn't have asked at all. It was something about the color, the rotation and the way it hit the driveway, because I know the sounds and stuff of Candace's cars as I go in and out, and Donnie's.
Gavel, are you rolling your eyes like me?
I know the sounds of their vehicles and the way the tires spin, and I can tell you without looking which one it is.
Oh.
Up or down, even when I'm inside the house or the cabin. The new Subaru, anyway, but for some reason in my head, there was a flash of red going up the driveway that was wrong. Wasn't
please
shiny.
Teach her how to share. Please teach her how to contour makeup.
The way the traction switched over for the Subaru was entirely different than whatever this was.
At least how to blend a little, right?
At point, like a 2.5 smiley. It transfers over to whatever it picks up, and then finally goes up.
You need air.
This didn't do that, and it also never completed the loop for the driveway, like to pull in at the top, like towards where Candace's camper was. And it was almost like it had stopped at the basement door,
she was just like,
also not where
she's barely coming up for air herself. Tammy,
not what half of, or 75% of the internet
from
seems to think it is. So anyway, it is facing this property.
So anyway, she says that a lot.
And it is
so
not
anyway.
very far from the roadway.
So anyway.
And I can tell you that full size Dodge truck that
full-size Dodge truck.
You can pull up from the basement, and they can't hear you inside the house.
Hi, Miss Robin.
There's just something about the way the basement and the hill shaped on like curves. Most of the time they can't even hear you if you're outside there. And the way the sounds on these properties work, they're all different, and they all pick up different things.
Wow. So, you know the drill. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Did we learn anything? That one was another no-go. Video 8 so far has been the only somewhat useful video where she actually mentions summer. Here I am, y'all. Mr. Sherritt took me shopping to get my life coaching venture off the ground. And we found these cute little things. So for each one of my clients, for me to keep notes and everything so I can better be useful to them. So we found these actually at the dollar store. And then we got little name tag stickers so I can put each name on there. So I got a bunch of them. Yeah, we just went shopping and got my little business started. We got cute little, I'll be doing giveaways and stuff. So cute little, little uplifting little journals I'll be sending out to my peeps with some cute little fuzzy tie-dye pens. Yeah, we just went to Walmart and the dollar store, and we're picking up some things to get going, get it started. So I'm pretty excited. Let's go now. She's got labeled 16, all with Summer's name. All right, so we just got through video 9. We are on video 10.
The sound.
We'll take a potty break after this one, maybe. We're gonna get through all. We have to get through the 16 tonight. Tomorrow is going to be an open discussion to go over all of these videos. Open panel. I think I can fit, because I pay for my StreamYard, so I think I can fit 10 is it 10 or 12 people up on panel, so we can have an open discussion tomorrow. Tammy's going to read cards on Jody Sue. So yeah, it'll be a good time to come together and kind of what can we make out of this? So
Flash of red.
we got to get through all the videos tonight.
The flash, as I recall in my head, wasn't glossy like that Subaru should have been. It wasn't new. It didn't have the clear coat. Something was wrong. And it's the reason I asked my oldest, who was that? And I think his statement not long ago, and I may let them speak for themselves if they want, maybe, but not visually.
Really?
Not sure about that yet. We'll discuss it as a family unit before that happens.
As a family unit?
If it happens.
Okay.
They did consent not long ago to other PIs and things, interviewed them on tape and things to be used if
Say what?
We've all been interviewed a bazillion times since day one, minute one, So either way, by every agency you could ever name on earth. Trust me. And I believe what my oldest had told
sound like she said
was
10,
that
tentacles.
He just seen red and assumed, so he went with, it's the neighbors. And I took that, okay, but I didn't think much about it, right?
She didn't think much about it, but she was hypervigilant. Okay.
Anyway,
there she goes. Her favorite.
There was, we go back inside at some point, and one of the points from looking at and being outside, for all these different moments. And
Really?
the reason I know the time is because I was messaging back and forth with Voldemort. And
Voldemort.
around 4:52, I believe. I have to look back at the messages. And lately I've not looked at those messages just because of other things going on. With, like I said,
Yeah, there she goes. She's so hypervigilant. She's so on top of it, but she ain't looking at it. She ain't checking it out.
That's what I was doing or something.
She's just so on top of her game.
So somewhere around 4:42, I think has been my estimation since the get. And it could have been as early as 4:30, but it was somewhere between 4:30 and 4:42 for sure, because I know we were out on the bank for a little bit trying to figure out what this was. So somewhere between 4:30 and 4:42, the children and I were sitting there being pretty loud, laughing, carrying on. I mean, and when I say loud, we're pretty loud. However, the cabin was quiet, TV running, no air, no fans, and this scream happens. This noise I originally tried to dismiss as, but
which I think is Candace who screamed because
that it immediately
she realized that she fucked up when she told this one here,
and it shuts
in passing by to go do pot deals. That Summer was downstairs in the basement,
and
right, Jody Sue.
I mean, as someone who's grown up in the woods and with critters of all kinds,
right, Jody Sue.
I mean, Ellie Mae,
right. That's when you got your revenge.
This wasn't, but I tried. It was so strange.
So strange.
I immediately tried to dismiss it as something else, including a dog, even though I knew better because
she knew exactly what the scream was. She knew exactly
and even
that
though
it was
by
Candace
this point the woodcutter's been gone for hours,
because she
should not have been there. In my head, trying to dismiss this, I was like, okay, so one of Candace's dogs has gotten too close to where woodcutter was, and they've kicked it. But I knew the sound was wrong for a dog.
What do you guys think? You think that? You think it was Candace that was screaming? Not Summer, but Candace? Because she came back after running weed deals and saw that, I told
and
John Schaefer Sr. and Jr. and Jody Sue.
That's kids. And I'm like,
and
because first thing in my mind when kids is mentioned in that context is the boys,
passing,
right? Candace's.
Now, driving down the driveway the first time to go sling her pot and pills that Grandma just got from the hospital, and let them know that Summer was in the basement because they said, "Where's Summer?" She stood in the basement playing with toys and took off down the driveway.
I heard every noise you
and
can
then
imagine
came
out
back,
of those three.
and then that
I hear them play every day.
That now she has changed her story about 100 times was Candace calling Summer, calling Summer, she didn't come, and then she ran downstairs. Summer was gone. There's the unfounded scream.
And they go down further than Summer. And,
that Candace, or I'm sorry, that Jody Sue,
things like that. and they
was
go in places that summer really doesn't.
100% waiting for.
But this wasn't their noises. But that's what hit me, right?
Sitting there in the
That's not
cabin
voice, and
with
that's
her
what I said.
doors open and everyone,
never
you know,
really
what
occurred
was
to
she
me.
saying?
Summer.
Sitting
And
there
the
being
reason
quiet
was,
and
is because Summer doesn't play
hypervigilant
far
and
after
on
a little.
alert.
She'll
Yeah.
move and she's high on the bank, or
She was
you know, one
waiting
of the
for
boys are
that,
picking,
right?
or she's
She,
picking, or she's you know, but not
she
a whole
knew
lot. You hear
exactly.
Summer.
What do you think?
Not like the boys. Oh dear. I mean, you'll hear her faintly, you'll hear whatever, but
Hate
she
her
is. She
fucking
stays a little
laugh.
closer to the house. And contrary to popular belief,
How does
I've never
she
once
know
seen
that?
Summer in the road. Those kids, like, no. She's also not the type to just. It's not.
Here she is saying Summer
even when
would
people,
stay
like,
at the house.
no. So, anyway,
Hi, Gypsy.
but my daughter jumps up and goes to the door of the cabin because she's closest. And what she hears,
Kitty cat.
sorry, I'm making sure her headphones are on. Like I said, I'm going through enough as is, and this has been, so, anyway, not, you know.
We
Anyway.
don't know. We're trying to know, but we don't know.
So she gets to the cabin door first. And this was a pretty quick series of events. It was a, you know, what is that? That's the kids. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. And she gets to the door first, and she goes, I can still hear it. It's one of the kids. And she was like, it's going, you know, it's muffled. Those were her exact words.
It's
That
muffled.
Day, she was like, I can
now
still
they're
hear it.
hearing muffled.
I couldn't hear it at that point any longer. But like I
Okay.
said, she was the first one to the door, had her head out.
Good night, sir.
And she says that she can hear it. It's still muffled. It was leaving the road, kind of.
Listen to this.
But that she could still hear it.
There's no way now.
So, you know, for a little while, it's just so weird, right? So, and I believe she also said she could hear a car too. I could not, but I was further back. You know, like I said, she was first door, he was second. But then we go out onto the banks again, you know, and we're listening, we're looking. We don't hear or see anything really.
One thing always stayed the
eventually go
same.
back
Her
in,
children totally disappear after that part. Never
then,
mentioned again.
Yeah, I get ready. I start getting ready not too long after that because normal time for Voldemort to get off of work. But then Voldemort texts and says he's going to be running behind, that he's working over. And
yeah, she's.
so
I have her sped up a little bit. How do you say your name? Like Lizzie?
around
Lace?
6,
I don't know how to say your name. I'm
usually
so
it's
sorry.
either way.
I have her on
It was
1.5 speed, so
quite a
it's a
bit
little
fine,
bit quick.
At one point near
quicker.
6, and I believe on the phone at 6:09,
Little
I'm going on the top
Dev.
vertebrae to start the descent down. By this point, I'm hearing. Hold on.
All right, you know the drill. Thumbs up, thumbs down. So that's video. That was number, what are we on? I think we got 6 more. She's got 2 number 11s. Was that video 10? Yeah, that was 10. So, or was it 11?
So, like I was saying, I'd gotten down into the tile. Didn't see Summer. But I went across back over to the left, which is Candace's property, where the other side of the tile is. And that's if you're going out the road, not in.
Hi, ES.
So,
McBro.
cross over, and I start into a spot that's kind of
Help!
And head towards the creek. Because I think, well, you know, maybe brothers have left her behind, or she's fallen off the top of the hill, she's gotten hurt, or, you know, the usual things, right? And we need to find her, if that's the case. Because in my head, I'm like, well, it's been a while since I've heard this scream, this noise. If she's hurt, she's been here a while. So I'm wearing sandals.
Yeah, they're
and I
seeing
know the
Mama.
best thing I can do
Mia.
is get into the water. So I step into the creek.
Steps into
Because
the
from
creek.
there I can keep tracks down. Because when you live in areas like ours, you know, worst case scenario. You also know what happens if somebody can't be found. And you know that staying in the water keeps scent down for dogs. If they have to be brought in. So, also, it's a good way to check, even though, you know, with your feet on what's in the bottom and deepest spots.
You need more edibles.
So, and at the same time, I keep an eye on the bank going around Candace's.
Yeah. Okay. I'm actually really paying attention to this one because this is, she's fucked up. Okay.
And to the top of the hill. before I'd stepped into the creek, I could hear the boys go down the left side of their property towards the creek on that side that I had looked down towards earlier.
Okay.
And there was a point there when, you know, I could tell that Candace and the boys had met up when they were hollering for Summer and circling the hill at the top. And Candace was like, you know, to the oldest, was like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And not like an accused. It was more of a, like, "Did you not have eyes on your sister? Did you leave her behind?" So, you know, literally at this point, I thought, okay, then I was, you know, like, it is that the boys were supposed to have an eye on her and didn't or something. And so anyway, I'm stepping into the creek. I don't know.
Now, okay. Do you think that Candace was saying, "What did you do? What did you do?" to the boys? Or do you think she was saying, "What did you do? What did you do?" to Jody Sue? I didn't think about that before. Maybe that was said to her and not ever the boys. We've really only heard Jody Sue say that Candace was saying that, right? So possibly Candace was saying that to her, knowing that she had just in passing mentioned to them that Summer was in the basement playing with her toys, and then when she came back from running her weed deals or whatever it was, or I think she was also running the pills that Grandma just got from the hospital. Yeah, she was possibly saying that to Jody Sue. Yeah, that's what I think too.
Far in. Sorry, this one's trying to snatch the phone cord.
This is where I think that's Candace in here. Because remember, when I was talking to Don about these very videos, Don was telling me, "No, Cher, you're wrong. I just talked to Candace," right? He was like, "I just talked to Candace. You're wrong. Just calm down. It's okay. Candace told me that she didn't even mention me." So, you know, Candace says that whatever Jody Sue said in the videos, that it's fine and that it's not going to get us into any trouble. And I'm like, Dawn, she's literally throwing you under the bus and protecting only Candace. Yeah, she's not saying your name, but she's saying your name. You know what I mean? Like, and Dawn was like, "I believe Candace." And Candace says that it's okay. So just calm down, Cher. I appreciate that you're looking out for me, but Candace says it's okay. I know Candace is here right now in this video and is like telling her what to say. There's even things written down and everything. And she kicks her at one point in one of these videos. I think this video.
And why are there 6 in the house when I was trying to snatch the phone cord?
I'm telling you, it's Candace right now that she's in there with.
Stepping into the creek, I don't know, not too.
With that in mind, now pay better attention right now. Progressive, hello, brother. Good to see you. I know you've been just busy at work. I will hit you up tomorrow. I'd love to do a collab and just I'd love to get your opinion and get you whatever you need on the Summer Walls case. I'm not sure if you followed that at all, Eli. I'd love to get you on a panel to discuss that more. The more we can get together and get Summer's name and face out there some more would be awesome. If you're into it.
Far in. Sorry, this one's trying to snatch the phone cord.
Right. That's Candace. I'm telling you, it's Candace.
Why are there 6 in the house and I was trying to snatch the phone cord? Hold on. I had to remind him that there's 6 others in here. So anyway, Lord, like I said, herd of elephants. So anyway, as I was looking, went a few feet, in to the water, but 20 feet maybe from the road. I don't know, maybe less than that. I don't know. Wasn't too far in when I hear a car coming down Candace's driveway and her talking to somebody, which I assume was somebody in the car with her. But I think it was
Hunter.
I come back out of the creek and jump up. out of, and then into the roadway, and she's in Grandis's vehicle, and which, kind of confused me at first, because I was like, flashed red earlier, and I thought, well, that wouldn't have been the first vehicle in line, if Grandis's was ahead of it, so that's why she's in Grandis's. And so anyway, when she pulls up, she's on the phone with Donnie. With the first thing I said, guys, I wish I could explain to you. I wish there had been some way for me to take a picture or video that day.
I think she did. And I think that's why Dawn and Candace have the guilty knowledge and don't open their mouth about it. I think she does have some kind of proof of abuse that was going on. I think that she does have that. Somebody has that for sure, which is why everyone around shuts the fuck up. Hey, Cotton Candy.
And Donnie says something like, so you're telling me somebody's taking my baby girl or something?
That's exactly what he said.
I'm sorry.
You told me someone...
I didn't put it together. Yep. Right? I was like, because the first thing she says to me is, we're talking together, basically, which is, I'm saying I'm sorry, and she's like, Summer's missing. And I'm like, where's the last place you've seen her? And I heard the scream. All this is happening. It's just a jumble, right? And her face... What? And I'm like, where's the last place you've seen her? And I heard the scream. All this is happening. It's just a jumble, right? And then I realized Donnie's on the phone. And Donnie says something like, so you're telling me somebody's taking my baby girl or something? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't put it together, enough time. Right?
Okay, so so she's saying, I'm sorry. Again, what the fuck? So why is she saying she's sorry? Like, why is Jody Sue apologizing?
I was like, because the first thing she says to me is, we're talking together, basically, which is, I'm saying I'm sorry, and she's like, Summer's missing. And I'm like, where's the last place you've seen her? And I heard the scream. All this is happening. It's just a jumble, right? And her face is so, the tears that, y'all, as a mother, any mother, if you had seen her face, she was sincere.
Oh, fuck.
Now, Candace and I and Donnie, it wasn't like we were all like besties or anything like that. I just want to clarify that so nobody's
no shit.
We were neighbors, and in the area we live in, you kind of deal with your direct neighbor, right? You don't deal with all of them; you deal with your directs. And so,
what? I'm sorry.
Conversations
what?
Here and there. Candace and I kind of had similar issues.
When you have neighbors, you don't deal with all your neighbors. You deal with the one direct. Like, what the fuck does that mean? You mean like the uppers and shit?
Throughout the years, because it took, I don't know, good 3 years or 4 years or so of us being...
You didn't like her.
Trapped where we were.
Trapped where you were.
We even really met them. We knew they were over there and lived there. But that's how kind of little contact everybody wants with one another where we live. Unless it's an emergency, a murder, or something like, don't come on my heel type of situation.
What? Do you see what she's... Unless it's an emergency or a murder, like I forgot that she says all of these crazy things. Holy shit. Bring that back.
Really met them. We knew they were over there and lived there. But that's how kind of little contact everybody wants with one another where we live. Unless it's an emergency, a murder, or something like, don't come on my heel type of situation.
All right. So the only time they want to conversate with their murders or whatever is unless there's an emergency or a murder. Don't come on the hilltop and bother me unless there's been a murder or an emergency. What the fuck? Why?
Question, right?
What the hell does that even mean?
Anyway, so weren't besties or anything like that.
Excuse me.
Like a cup of sugar, just when the kids need something. Hey, I forgot toilet paper today. We watched the kids for this or
sugar,
whatever
right.
that. Throughout the years, I watched them a few times.
Sure you did.
I mean, even our kids, we really didn't play together or anything through the years, but we knew each other's kids. The boys went back and forth, the girls did not. If we had messages to send or internet wasn't working or power was out, it's the boys that would come back and forth.
Wow.
I hate to be double standard like that, but up until right before all of this, my preteen hadn't even been allowed to walk to the mailbox because it's that far away from the house. We just, it's like the mailbox is the only point of vulnerability, really. And I just wasn't going to do that. But it was mostly because of cars, not because I ever thought kidnapper or whatever. And, there are bears and this and the other, but my kids kind of know how to act and, are feet from them most days. And So it's not really a big deal for us. Wildlife's a thing. They know how to, traverse that world. Because like I said, Ellie Mae, right? So they've been taught. It's never really been animals for me that I've worried about with them.
Unbelievable.
Or even people. It's been that somebody coming around the curve because of the way the road's shaped right there, and then the way it tops right at our old mailbox. It's super dangerous. So, anyway, but Candace and I had similar issues throughout the years and helped each other through those situations. If one of us, she needed a ride away, or I needed her to take pictures for me, or so there was things like that. And we kind of kept that to ourselves through the years for obviously good reason. But if one of the kids needed something, or was like cut or whatever, I mean, there was many times that she called and be like, "Hey, do you have?" And so either way. Hold on.
Okay, so I'm trying to sturdy my phone. I'm just gonna assume everyone's throwing the thumbs down in their chat at this point. All right, now there's a second number 11. So maybe that has more to do with summer. Here we go. We got part 2, number 11. Like I said, we got to get through all 16 tonight. I'm sorry, not sorry.
I'm starting
it
the
must
top
be done.
And then the descent down our driveway.
Here's 11 part 2.
I messaged Voldemort.
11 was so good. It needed a second part.
Flowers, and I'll just mess around with those till he gets there. Even though I knew at that point it'd be like almost half an hour. And so
I see y'all. You already know. Yeah.
Calling for summer. Before I'm all the way down, I know that there's been more than 3 calls. After 3 calls, my gut said no. Because I'd never known of summer really, and as a mother, right?
Oh my gosh.
Usually at 3rd call, and the sternest tone brings them in, right? So by that 3rd or so call, I knew, and my mind went click, click, click.
No, it did
not. What's the sound I heard? I personally just assumed those things went together almost immediately.
Click, click, click.
And it is not my job to make of what I heard, what they heard.
Side note, look at the clipboard Mr. Cher got me. I'm so legit.
Or to say that was anybody for certain, right?
Oh, and okay, sorry, last one. Leopard print paper, he's so cute.
And
sorry.
It's not my job.
It's not your job.
Is what I can speak on, but I can't be like, 100% this, 100% that, 100% whatever. And I'm not going to do so. It's other people's jobs that are trained to do whatever that, I'm just here to tell what our day and the events for us were like and our thoughts, feelings, and so anyway.
D.
I get to the bottom of the driveway. I have my purse. Actually, it's the same one I'm still carrying.
All right. So she's got her purse. Bottom of the driveway. She's reading now.
I'm starting to panic for her. I know something's wrong. I just know it. And I look across. There's kind of a drop off with a piece of property that connects with Candace's on the other side of the road, and it's kind of down. And there's the creek that runs that way. Because it runs through both of this property and the other one. It's the main creek through Beach Creek, but it takes this weird way around through that part on that side of the road and under a tile through Ben Hill. So anyway, I kind of look down to make sure Summer is not there, and then Candace is still calling. I hear the boys start, calling. They're circling. I just know something's wrong. At this point, I drop my purse where I'm standing.
She drops her purse.
I try calling and screaming at Candace, and I'm already looking to let her know that I'm at the bottom. She can't hear me, and it's the way her piece of property picks up things. She could not hear me. It was not possible. I could hear her clear as day, though. At a certain point, I know trying to scream at her is wasting time. I just need to be looking for Summer. And to me, that scream, I don't think, whatever. I don't know how to. But I look anyway. Start down towards where the tile is that the creek runs under and through. Passes through from this property to Candace's. And I look to the right, even though I know that the kids never play really in the right side. It's always the left side. They kind of stay on their own and they go through. But just to be sure, I looked at the right. I got down on my knees. I looked in the tile. Didn't see her. I start. Hold on.
Okay. All right. I knew it was going up. All right. So that was the second part 11. All right. Here we go. Part 12.
So, like I was saying,
So
I'd
like
gotten down, looked into the tile, didn't see Summer. But I went across back over to the left, which is Candace's property, where the other side of the tile is. And that's if you're going out the road, not in. So, cross over, and I start into a spot that's kind of clear, and head towards the creek. Because I think, well, maybe brothers have left her behind, or she's fallen off the top of the hill, she's gotten hurt, or, the usual things, right? And we need to find her, if that's the case. Because in my head, I'm like, well, it's been a while since I've heard this scream, this noise. If she's hurt, she's been here a while.
What is she drinking? Alcohol?
So I'm wearing sandals, and I know the best thing I can do is get into the water. So I step into the creek. Because from there I can keep tracks down. Because when you live in areas like ours, worst case scenario. You also know what happens if somebody can't be found. And you know that staying in the water keeps scent down for dogs. If they have to be brought in. So, also it's a good way to check, even though, with your feet on what's in the bottom and deepest spots. So, and at the same time, I keep an eye on the bank going around Candace's, and to the top of the hill. Before I'd stepped into the creek, I could hear the boys go down the left side of their property towards the creek on that side that I had looked down towards earlier. And there was a point there when, I could tell that Candace and the boys had met up when they were hollering for Summer and circling the hill at the top. And Candace was like, to the oldest, was like, what did you do? What did you do? And not like an accused, but it was more of a, like,
hey,
did you...
Hey,
no.
Tiffany, I tagged you. I didn't see, and I've been looking. Can you please email me? Because we've started, trying to go through stuff. I've got the necklace ready to send out. So I want to send that out to you this weekend. So email me where to send it. And yeah. What are we on? Today's Thursday. Yeah, I'll be mailing it out actually tomorrow, and I will send you the tracking. I want to get it out so I'm not damaging it in the move. I'm scared that it'll get stuck on something or tangled or something, and I don't want it ruined. So I want to get it out to you before we start packing the house up. Thank you, Patty Ponytail.
Not have eyes on your sister. Did you leave her behind? So that, literally at this point, I thought, okay, then I was, it is.
Please, thank you, Tiffers.
Didn't or something.
Or no, I can't call you that.
So anyway, I'm stepping into the creek. I was, I don't know, not too far in. Sorry, this one's trying to snatch the phone cord.
See, Candace is there. Remember, and I brought that up to Dawn. So
5 or 6 in the house, and I was trying to snatch.
I'm not sure when. I think I'm gonna wait till Dawn is out of jail, and then I'm gonna start going back. I want him to see, because when I piss him off, he's gonna want to yell at me, right? And he's gonna want to tell me off and lecture me on how evil I'm being. So when he is out of jail, I'm gonna go back and show you guys everything. Sure has a plan.
Snatch the phone cord. Hold on. I had to remind him that there's 6 others.
Y'all know how he'd love to call me and yell at me and get me in trouble for things.
So anyway.
Can't wait.
Lord, like I said, herd of elephants. So anyway.
Y'all know there's a method to my madness. Hey, Horrific. Good to see you.
As I was looking, went a few feet, in to the water, but 20 feet maybe from the road. I don't know. Maybe less than that. I don't know. Wasn't too far in. When I hear a car come down Candace's driveway. And her talking to somebody, which I assume was somebody in the car with her. But
that's what happens when you assume, Jody.
I come back out the creek and jump up. Out of, and then into the roadway. And she's in Grandis's vehicle. And which, kind of confused me at first. Because I was like, flash red earlier, and I thought, well, that would have been the first vehicle in line. You know, if Grandis's was ahead of it, so that's why she's in Grandis's. And so, anyway, when she pulls up, she's on the phone with Donnie. With the first thing I said, I mean, guys, I wish I could explain to you. I wish there had been some way for me to take a picture or video that day.
Tanya.
Donnie's on the phone with her, and I didn't even realize the time it just didn't hit me. But the first thing I said, Candace, is I heard her scream.
She does.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I really, really do.
And then I realized Donnie's on the phone. And Donnie says something like, so you're telling me somebody's taking my baby girl or something. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I didn't put it together, enough time. Like, right?
Ain't that interesting? That's interesting now. And Dawn saying Candace made the wrong friends. And in passing, Candace said she's downstairs playing with her toys and come back and she's gone. You see how you can actually make sense of all these things. And by the way, I am doing that interview tomorrow. And I'm going to be doing some editing of people's voices. This is how afraid people are to say things of getting harassed and everything. So we are going to edit to like make the voice different just to make this woman feel comfortable and safe. We are willing to do that, but we are going to interview her and actually hear what she has to say about the backpackers, because you can actually make some sense of it, whether it's an opinion or not. It makes sense. So again, and Dawn said, when I came home, I saw my neighbor out there, her and Don Schaefer Jr., and he said, I just knew she was gone. Candace makes the wrong friends. Like, it all aligns.
I was like, because the first thing she says to me is, we're talking together, basically, which is, I'm saying I'm sorry, and she's like, Summer's missing.
And see, why is she saying I'm sorry? Candace is all Summer's missing, and Jody Sue is apologizing? What the fuck? Let's be honest. They were the perfect family to hit with some kind of stupid revenge shit like that. And she was the one who wanted it. She had the motive. The entire time it was her that had the motive. Dawn and Candace are guilty of being piece of shit parents and being abusive in every which way you can think of. This is true. Did they take Summer, though?
Where's the last place you've seen her? And I heard the scream. All this is happening. I mean, it's just a jumble, right? And her face is so, the tears that, y'all, as a mother, any mother, if you had seen her face, she was sincere. Now, Candace and I and Donnie, it wasn't like we were all like besties or anything like that. I just want to clarify that so nobody's like, we were neighbors. And in the area we live in, you kind of deal with your direct neighbor, right? You don't deal with all of them, you deal with your direct. And so there would be conversations here and there. Candace and I kind of had similar issues throughout the years, because it took, I don't know, a good 3 or 4 years or so of us being trapped where we were before we even really met them. We knew they were over there and lived there. But that's how kind of little contact everybody wants with one another where we live. Unless it's an emergency, a murder, or something like, don't come on my heel type of situation, right? And anyway, so weren't besties or anything like that. Like cup of sugar, just when the kids need something. Hey, I forgot toilet paper today. Will you watch the kids for this, or whatever that. Throughout the years, I watched them a few times. I mean, even our kids, we really didn't play together or anything through the years, but we knew each other's kids. The boys went back and forth, the girls did not. If we had messages to send or internet wasn't working or power was out, it's the boys that would come back and forth. Hate to be double standard like that, but, up until right before all of this, my preteen hadn't even been allowed to walk to the mailbox because it's that far away from the house, we just, yeah. It's like the mailbox is the only point of vulnerability, really. And I just wasn't going to do that. But it was mostly because of cars, not because I ever thought kidnapper or whatever. And, there are bears and this and the other, but my kids kind of know how to act. And, I mean, our feet from them most days. And so it's not really a big deal for us. Wildlife's a thing. They know how to, traverse that world. Because, like I said, Ellie Mae, right? So they've been taught. It's never really been animals for me that I've worried about with them. Or even people. It's been that somebody come around the curve because of the way the road's shaped right there, and then they'll get tops right at our old mailbox. It's super dangerous. So, anyway, but Candace and I had similar issues throughout the years and helped each other through those situations. If one of us, she needed a ride away, or I needed her to take pictures for me, or so there was things like that. And we kind of kept that to ourselves through the years for obviously good reason. But if one of the kids needed something, or was like cut or whatever, I mean, there was many times that she'd call and be like, "Hey, do you have," and so either way. Hold on.
You know the drill in the chat. I'm starting. That's when. Okay, so she's starting to, in my opinion, that she's more so trying to give herself, like, I don't know, and it's so freaking weird. It seems like the perfect case of where we see the guilty inserting themselves and really trying to edit and alibi themselves and distance themselves while inserting themselves and trying to make sure we go with that narrative. Hey, Flip Flop. So it's yeah, I wouldn't say it's a waste of time to be listening to them again, to be honest. All right, now I'm sorry, we're not done yet. We are on number 13 now, and there's only 113. Well, we're getting there. We've got 3 more after this, so bear with me. But we've got to get through them. So we got to get through these tonight.
I mean, we talk at mailboxes. Voldemort would go and chit chat, do whatever. I mean,
yeah,
he was up there far more than I
True
was.
Crime Tea. Hello, darling.
Mostly trapped in the box on my side there. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, that it wasn't like we're besties or we hang out, or like that way people understood the relationship here. But as a community neighbors, mothers, I know her well enough to know that her face was genuine that day, and I know with what was already going on in their lives that her calling police that day was a big step and not something she would have done lightly. And for her to have done so immediately told me that it was serious.
She's
and swore that she, still firmly believe she had nothing to do with any of this. And I mean, I've had people almost make me that, but I know in my gut, in my heart, that she didn't. If y'all could have seen her face and heard her voice, and y'all understand, I see what the rest of the public does. The same information's out here for me to read and see too. I know certain behaviors make it look really weird and really whatever, and I understand, I get it. I do, and I understand where some people are coming from, and, eating life for some of it, I get it. And I get the past stuff, and I get whatever. But in my gut, and in my heart, I know she didn't, and I just, either way. So, I tell her I'm looking, and I jump back into the woods, and then back into the creek, and then our other neighbor, who I'm not going to name, had either heard the commotion and was already out, but I heard him and her talking. I don't know if she got him or if he was already out, and a lot of times he is already in, around that time. So I don't know how it happened. I was looking on my own, so I was focused, but I did pick up enough to know that he had joined by this point. And then I looked back at one point, and he's pretty close to me. He's still on the roadway, and he was like, "You want the creek?" And I was like, "Well, you got boots on. I've got sandals. That makes more sense." So he took the bank beside of me so he could walk it and look for tracks. I could stay in the water and I could look. And that way it kept out on tracks, but covered everything. And so we both walked through, and like I said, the point in foliage was a little different than even just a couple days after. I mean, it was quick how fast it popped up. And then right where this is at, coincidentally, is where the clear cutting started. And it was ground down to mud and dirt like I've never seen before. Even the creek was dammed up in spots. It was crazy. So I follow the creek. He follows the bank, which is the bottom of Candace's hill, is it the main piece there. We keep in contact when we can't see one another. We're like, "Have you seen any tracks? Have you seen this? Have you seen that?" I'm dragging the bottom of my feet. I'm looking at the mud, see tracks, anything. There's nothing. And he's getting nothing. And and we should have had something been through there just because of how
Hmm.
devastated it was and sort of how muddy it had been made by the clear cutting. It was very thick, mushy. It wasn't normal like it would have been had they not clear cut. But tracks.
Just so you know, Jamie Rose, I love when people come in here and they know what they're doing. So, Lil, you were timed out, which I actually think is hilarious. No, it's okay, Lil Wing. They were being whatever. They know how terms of service works, and you're not missing much anyways. If you would like to go back and listen to it without my commentary, you can surely do that. But yeah, no, it's totally okay, Lil Wing. They got timed out by an accident. It's okay that they got timed out. No big deal, because they're being sarcastic little bitches anyways, and ain't nobody got time for that. We all know how terms of service works, and if we don't want to get strikes on our channel, we have to add our commentary on there. Okay, bitches. Thank you. Goodbye. Trulia, hey girl. I'm gonna join from my phone so I can go join.
Would have been there and
Hey,
even more
Beverly.
pronounced but it was still so messed up that I don't know. Either way, at the creek area though, it wasn't as, Anyway, I get to points to where you can tell that obviously the creek's not been touched. It's stagnant for a pretty lengthy period, even though there had been rain just a night or two before. And so I could tell nothing had been there in those spots, but I went through them anyway. Felt with my feet at the bottom, looked for tracks on banks, and then I would hop out in places I couldn't get through because they would have been messed up so bad by the clear cutting and stuff. And I would hop right back in on the other side of whatever was, and rinse, repeat, right, all the way down through. And the entire time, the other neighbor is still with me, and we're following, and calling back and forth to make sure that, we've not found her, that we've not seen anything with each other. I get to the part where they literally have clear cut it in almost a path straight. It's clear cut all the way to the main road. You can't, it was wild. But there's a part that comes down almost the road back to Candace's property from the main road that they had clear cut everything off of. And it had entirely dammed up a piece. It's near a guardrail. And the field opens up at that point. And I see the boys way off to what is now my left but back shoulder. And at this point, I hear the cops coming. Because down there, you can tell the cops are coming 30 minutes before they're even in there because of the way dogs howl. So you've got quite a bit of warning. But also, I just hear them and you hear the engine pick up. There's two, they come by. And then it wasn't long after that Voldemort comes in, and then Donnie not long behind him. During all this, also see and hear Candace going in and out, the Ben Hill onto the main road for things, but not in long spurts, So then I keep walking my piece, and as much as I can at this point, because, they had literally taken out the creek. It's one of the wildest things I'd ever seen. So Voldemort stuff about one time. I was like, Summer's missing. He's like, I know, I'm looking. So he's driving up down the main road. I'm like, about this. I see the boys back there. They're kind of squatted down. They're children. And I know instinctively what they're doing. They're kind of playing. And I'm just like, okay, kids will be kids. Either way, I finally make my way to them. I'm almost to them before they realize I'm...
Oh, sorry, Dee.
And they stand up, and the oldest...
I thought they were gone as well, right? But that's another thing. The dogs keeps getting
and I'm not
story changed.
What he told me. But then he tells me it's been like, a few minutes, and I'm not going to get the exact time period either. And he tells me that, and he's pretty speaking to the group, and they're a little off, but I figure, well, they just got caught playing and still looking for sister, and they're afraid I won't tell mama. So anyway, they start trudging back through the middle of me and another neighbor through the field to go back home. By this point, I can see a cop in the back. I've reached as far as I can get without crossing the other fence, and then right back to where I know has already been searched and is being searched by others at the time. And so I head back out towards the middle, almost the same way the boys do. That way I can look for tracks in the middle in case. And I know the other neighbor hadn't been able to get that because they were still busy on the bank. I holler back and forth to them, ask if they found anything. They've not. Obviously, none of us had. We all kind of knew at that point she was not in there. There was also, I think we would have spotted any signs of animal things. I think there was like one bear track maybe, but it was older. Wasn't fresh. And like one paw, and not fresh. So, but not anyway, it had been there before the rain, so it wasn't. Anyway, I make my way back to the start of Ben Hill. By this point, other neighbors are starting to flood in.
She does look old for 39. I'm 30. I'm turning 39 next month, November 24th. Oh, that's the end of it? Okay, hold on. Sorry. All right, I'll put my joint. Oh, sorry. Let's go. That's right. So I put it all on one video. The bitch had to put it in 16 different videos. Okay, hold on. I'll go back to the computer.
We're on 14.
And let me explain here that I and the other neighbor had already been looking.
Oh, here we go. Let her explain, y'all.
Basically, the only two neighbors that know what summer looked like. The other neighbor that joins Candace and them, even though they're connected, whereas her and I really aren't.
Hi, Piper.
Nor is the other one, but he has visual too, and because the kids play on that stuff, the helmet's more clear than. And because, Candace and I talk to them, and they are out in a place to where, they all everybody looks like, so that's why, and they're some of the best neighbors you could ever want, guys. I don't care what the media tells you, everybody in there ain't crazy, most people are good, seriously.
Oh, okay.
There's retired veterans, there's ex-police, hospital workers, and there's only 11 or 12 of us in there, right? And, there's not what it's being made out to be. Everybody's pretty quiet. We were the youngest, but had the least traffic of anybody, and I mean this sincerely, not even my family.
Could be mistaken.
Which part of that was
a few people have thought that for sure, yeah.
There. But also, I just don't like visitors either. Kind of a homebody, but
what the fuck? She always
it was definitely part of the abuse I've been through there, and that they've been through there for a decade. So we had the least visitors of anybody, even though we were the youngest. But any neighbor in there, if you ask them something's gonna have your back. Midnight, noon, didn't matter. These are good people. So anyway, and hardworking people. I have postal workers in there. You name it, it's not what you think it is. Out of just 12, school worker. It's not what you think it is. So anyway. So I'm going to, like I said, back to the start of Ben Hill at where it meets the main road. And I think the third car is coming in, police car. It's an SUV, whatever it was. And I stopped and was I heard a scream, whatever. And they said, okay, take a note. Everything's going so quick, moving so fast at that point. But other neighbors are coming in, and they ask us and other ones, what she looks like. We describe her. We tell them where we've already searched. Most of those neighbors knew about, tracks as well, so try to keep that down. So then things start just obviously going from there. And
I don't understand that. So
yeah, I think it best that I don't speak really on the things after that period, or just because of just
we don't know
events right there in those first few moments and hours are what matter the most. There's nothing really afterwards that because most of it pertains to search crews and obviously the main parts of every and what follows after a situation like this. I can tell you that some of us had a hard time because we had already
telling the truth,
spread the word. The word was out, and everything was kind of searched before even we all knew the properties well enough to know where, and to look at all of ours quickly enough to know that
we already all searched before. What she stopped herself there. We all had already been looking and searching before even blank. Before even what?
What follows after a situation like this, I can tell you that some of us had a hard time, because we had already like spread the word. The word was out, and everything was kind of searched before even, like, we all knew the properties well enough to know where, and to look at all of ours quickly enough to know that, and we all get it, we understand, but yeah, I mean, there were things, like the tree cutters came back in and stuff, like, starting next morning, and for almost the entire time period, even search crews and stuff were in there.
That's one thing her and Candace have in common. They both did try to low-key throw the tree trimmers under the bus. So that lets me know that them two have talked and made a narrative between the two of them, because they both said that shit. Both of them.
Mail was cut out, though, and trash was cut out for 10, 12 days, something like that. The tree crew started back the next morning, though. And we all kind of worried if they were, like, accidentally destroying evidence or moving scents or things like that. And we didn't really understand. I don't think we still do as a community. There were things with that made us uncomfortable.
Shut the
fuck up. At one point, like, I went down, and for like the third time. Now, mind you, we all had to show ID to get in and out of there. For weeks, you weren't coming and going unless you had. And for the most part, you weren't coming or going anyway, because you were on property, with search crews and teams, and dogs came through to search the houses and the buildings and the properties. And, it was literally one crew after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And I mean that sincerely, day in and day out, for weeks and weeks, plus the helicopter overhead and the drones. And it was... But these tree crews were in there. I think the number of them had gone down quite a bit. But they had finally started on this piece of property and in the right of way at a point. And we noticed weird stuff. So I was sitting down once again to remind them that wood needed to be left laying. And there were some weird questions like, how old's your daughter? And then cutting in on a spot that had already been cut that didn't make sense to me. And then right behind the question about my daughter's age, I felt uncomfortable. Could have just been sensitive subject.
Stop it.
About anything. Right behind it was another guy that joked about how they could take off with and be gone.
No, they did not.
How that job would be perfect for something.
No, they did not. There wasn't a little girl reported missing, and then the next day the tree cutters were laughing and joking about how they could take off with the little girl. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, absolutely not. So we know she's fucking full of shit just right there in itself. No. Fuck no. She's a liar, and for sure her and Candace discussed this, and she told Candace to say this bullshit. This is some bullshit. Tiffany, of course, yes, they were quite, she is an idiot, 100%. Like, I knew this before this, but I think this just, like, no question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've watched this a million times, as everyone has probably. And yep, I don't feel bad about it. She's an idiot.
Like,
fuck.
Maybe the guy just has no filter. I don't know. Like, that's real inappropriate. But it wasn't
real inappropriate. You think it's
from in there. And,
the fact she came up with this bullshit is pathetic.
So anyway, but I'm not sure that and I'm just saying that's seems to be how that transpired.
Sure.
Because I complained.
Seems to be.
Not even sorry. So.
Oh, she complained?
Anyway, other than that, I'm not really going to say much. Otherwise.
She ain't going to say much, all right.
I have watched. I know that part of the thing is, like Candace not crying, not doing whatever,
Oh, here we go.
And I don't think it would let y'all. I've seen her in person. I talked to her.
We don't care.
Last night or this morning.
Last night or this morning. She's there right now. She's there right now. Like, she's lying literally to herself, and like, oh, I don't know when I talked to her last night or this morning. Oh, she's there right now.
It was one or the other, though.
Shut the fuck up.
But, I mean, she was crying then.
I hate when fucking people
She really does.
lie.
Since
I
her
hate
was
it.
found. And I don't think it would matter whether she was crying or not. I think everybody would eat her alive. I understand
Shut
how
the fuck
optics
up.
look. I understand how... I get it. I get it just like you all do, you know? And I understand part of the issue. Like, at first was the past tense language. Before it was even heard out from y'all. I mean, like, first night I heard it, and it didn't bother me because, I think that what people who live in maybe the suburbs are easier lives, you know, they're kind of projecting. But when you live the lives of people
Shut
like this,
up.
or have gone through some of the things or had the past that Candace and things have had, or, you know, or like us, I mean, you learn how to, and sometimes maybe you seem a little, you know, it's more reality based than, and so I think somewhere you already think the worst, or you think, or it's hard to have hope when you've lived a hard life.
She's licking Candace's butthole
as
right now because
parents,
Candace
even though it's
is
hard for
sitting
some of us
right
to
there
admit
on the other side of that
openly in
bed
public,
table they're sitting at.
a parent,
Nasty bitches.
which do you hope for? Right? I mean, you don't want either, obviously. You don't want either.
No.
Your best case, like you hope all those days, right? You hope that it's just got mad, wandered off, or broke a leg, or stuck, or something, right? That's your best case.
She can't even breathe right now. She's
then,
suffocating up Candace's butthole right now. She can't even breathe.
I mean, let's be real. These people don't take these children to Disney World, guys.
Oh.
And they're either kept and tormented, or
did we just
they're
do that?
And it's over.
Okay. You'll forget about Disney World, guys.
Who've lived harder lives. I don't, you know, I don't fault them for using past tense, and I know they still have hope.
I don't fault them for using past tense.
And I know she cries for that baby.
Oh, she cries for that baby, y'all.
Just like I know she misses her sons.
She misses her son now. You know how we know? Because Jody Sue fucking said so. Yeah. This dumb bitch. I'm getting tired. Sorry, guys. What one was that? 14? All right, we're on 15. Here we go. Let's listen to the line. Oh, she got glasses on now. You see what she did? Yeah. Someone was like, oh, we'll relate to you more if you put some glasses on. It'll soften your look with your fucking hard ass fucking eyeshadow of whatever the fuck is going on. It looks like, I don't know, her freaking eyelids are trying to fly off her fucking face or something.
I had to take a small break.
She had to take a small break because she can't stand the fucking sound of herself.
So, I mean, like I said, I know.
It's terrible.
I know that
this Bomber's laughing
and cared for, and I know the community wants her home.
Clown boss
definitely does, you know. And I don't think Candace had anything to do with this. I don't think the boys had anything to do with
this. Yeah, her intro should be
with this. And me personally, I think she was taken.
No, you don't say.
I don't know. I don't think it was animal related or anything, or I'm quite positive we would have all found tracks and obvious signs. But like I said at the beginning of this, had you 2 seconds before that day, before the calls for Summer started coming off that hill, ever asked me if
2 seconds before that day, she said,
on Candace's property or the one we were on until just a short few days ago, I would have laughed. Because on our particular properties, and I think I missed this point earlier and got a little distracted, the one connected to Candace, fully connected, had never even seen Summer. And there's nothing but, you know, like a little bit between them, but they had never laid eyes on Summer. Didn't know what she looked like. And they're good people. I mean, it's not anything like that. It's
what the fuck?
That's how it works around there. And how different the views and the sounds and things are. And that's something else I need to touch on. You know, so what I'm going to tell you next.
Tell us, Strody.
About the sounds and why it is that other neighbors that were
Does what?
outside around the same time I was, or the scream happened,
Ugh.
didn't seem to hear it, but we heard it, is because of the way these properties are shaped and the road is shaped and the hollow itself is, and how drastically different it is from each property to each property. But for weeks, as these searches went on, or at night when it got quieter, or when the drones and the helicopters finally stopped, I sat there as the foliage changed and keeping watch over my own daughter and my kid, and that I was doing so was absolutely used to further abuse myself and these children, and to commit the last weeks of abuse against us. The summer situation was absolutely used to manipulate, hide things from us, and to abuse us, which is pretty wild in normal people's lives. But kept a watch over these two, especially because, I mean, she's the last little girl in there, plus the time the boys were still in there. There's other things close that I'm not going to name, because even though some of these groups don't have a problem, like with property maps coming out and this coming out, and maybe don't realize sometimes that it could be leading predators right back in, or especially with, it being common knowledge that the very thing that makes this community, is also maybe its vulnerabilities, like cell phone service, cop time, So posting or sharing some of the property stuff, or, I know there's been a lot of people since the beginning going real life. We've had more than a few, and just, not long before we got out of there. I mean, we had people that were probably mistaken. I don't know, but they were in there screaming at other neighbors going for cancer treatment, just like I was, pulled in for no reason, and were screaming at them, and then combined are calling my daughter a freak. And I mean, you just don't understand. And Bigfoot hunters and psychics fighting in the middle of the road and the wildness. So had a perpetrator come back in. We don't know. And it would have been hard to tell with all the real life people coming in there. It just added more confusion once the road was opened back up, and chaos for all of us, and definitely kept myself on point. No sleep, cancer. I mean, it was.
So when Tim Mullen went there to meet Dawn and Candace for the first time, you think that he went and said hello to her? Think they already met beforehand too? What do you think? Right, exactly. Yes, Tiffany. No, this was all. Yeah, she started on her Facebook. Yep.
Some of the most difficult
real
weeks
life
in
on
and
her.
it weighs heavy.
This bitch.
This was
No.
There's past tense.
Maybe now, but no.
This is a child we know personally. One I've changed.
In fact, I was so upset. Like, one of the reasons, like, I just did not understand. Like, in fact, Jody Sue was very fucking protected. And let me tell you, Tiffany Marie was one of the people very much protective of her. Really, she was, of her and the kids at first. So, and I just I couldn't understand that. But, yeah, but Tiffany was doing her thing and gave her a fair shot. She gave Jody Sue the most fair shot. She really did. And she caught hell for doing it. She did. So I don't want to hear about people went real life on Jody Sue. Like, fuck that.
Diapers and fed her. Just seen her in person just a day or two before. And as you can imagine, my children did not take it well, especially my daughter, and she's sensitive. Anyway.
This lady just using her kids.
And knowing that our abuser used that knowledge against her is one of the last things he tormented her with personally.
You sit there all day, every day, and re-torment her by talking about it in a goddamn shoebox with her in there.
Summer. And how she felt about it and did things to make sure. But we went through weeks of my youngest being scared and having all kinds of, and she still is very sensitive to it, obviously. And it took a toll on her, and then what was done recently has again. Anyway, with the property sounds.
Yeah,
So
I would be
Um,
highlighting that if I could right now,
the
Tiffany.
neighbors connected. And here's the thing: I
Mhm.
asked for somebody to help me run testing or something, because all these nights that I walked
One
this
more
thing,
time for
hills
the
and the
people
woods, and
in the
make sure the
back.
sounds and how I was hearing things, especially as the foliage changed, because it does change and pick up differently during different seasons. I was trying to make sure as all the foliage, that I hadn't changed it too much. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, the pieces kind of came together. I mean, I knew why, but I was just trying to have confirmation of that, and I'd asked for people to help me figure out how to test that. And until recently, so somebody did, and we kind of made sure that would happen before our final days at the property recently, and it's on videotape. It's been recorded. That I'm not wrong. I wasn't wrong from the beginning. But the reasons why this sound was picked up by us, and we heard the scream, but Candace couldn't. The other neighbors couldn't, but we could hear it clear as day.
What?
Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Gotta start a new video. What is that, 15?
And I'm trying to do this in a way that doesn't bother my other neighbors. So all I'm going to say is that one neighbor, despite being closer in a way, can only hear what's coming off the left side
Were we on
of
14?
Candace's top of her hill on one side of it. The day I went and visited, the boys were still there. Some of the last days they were there, and they were, like screaming.
Are
playing,
we there yet?
Full out playing, very loudly, very loudly. I can hear them clear as a bell at the house and cabin, and I can hear them all the way down the road. And then you get to that property, because I was visiting for another reason with this particular neighbor.
That's
And they
probably
made a
true.
point
Crime
to
has
say
consequences.
some stuff like, well, we've not heard the boys in weeks, or they're still over. And I'm like, 2 seconds ago, like, they were screaming as we pulled in. Y'all didn't hear? Nope, couldn't hear them. But while on this particular property, like banging or something was happening on the left side, you hear clear as a bell on these people. So they're only able to hear what's on the left side and top in one area coming down. They can't hear what
That's
I hear.
right.
On
I
ours.
forgot she was saying that.
Candace can't hear the screams, and she couldn't hear me scream.
She's a
From the
little
bottom area where, if somewhere had been snatched, taken, muffled, let go, like at the bottom driveway areas, she couldn't have heard that.
If Summer had been snatched, taken, or muffled. Thank you, Vicky. I'm having a blast doing it. It's so awesome to get to know people and be able to be in their corner and help them through whatever it is that they need help through.
A way that their bank does, and the hollow carries that she couldn't hear me. She's not going to hear that scream. And then there were several
excuse me. I'm sorry.
We're in between these that help me figure out, and I don't really want to say much about them, just because they would be identifying enough. And
the date I didn't see on there, but it says 7 months ago.
Part of that's public record to show which properties were what and which people heard what and things.
What?
But there were things that happened, including like the police report I had to make, and then I heard gunshots in one area, but other people can hear it. And we had a trespasser one night, but nobody, and other things happening. And so that right there told me, because certain people could
gunshots, but nobody else heard it. And yeah, and remember her text messages. We'll go through her text tomorrow, bringing up the gunshots too. If I'm not mistaken, that was from 2018 or something. It was before Summer was reported missing, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a while before. I don't know.
couldn't hear certain things, too, not that. So we tested the theory, right? And had children scream just a few days ago in the same spot. As we were in the cabin in the same spots, with the bed still there before I packed it up and moved it, and all of the things still in the same place, and almost the same amount of foliage, and as summer's lightening down, someone started off, so it's more like it was. So either way, kind of proved that there's a reason why we could hear it, but why Candace could not, and why other neighbors could not, but thought they should have, and but we've all realized now why that is. which we knew that on this particular piece of property, it kind of picks up everybody's in the entire road anyway, just at different ways. Plus, this particular piece here that we were on until just a few days ago, also picks up, literally, like, there's just one that drives.
So Andy kicked your ass off.
No, but it's all the way out on the main road near the end of Simpson Loop on the very tail end of it. But it sounds like it's right. So I can also hear noise just like that from the main road. It depends on what, but that particular piece that we were on.
Depends how hyper vigilant.
If you wanted to be the neighbor from Bewitched, that's the property for you. That's all I'm saying. But regardless,
what the fuck?
There was a very real reason, several of them why it is that we heard and nobody else did, and maybe why people doubt, or maybe why I wasn't taking it seriously, because everybody's like, well, other neighbors didn't. That's all I can say is, what we heard was not an animal. It's not a kick dog. My kids immediately picked it up as
it's not kids, a kick
dog. To me,
I
wasn't thinking summer.
What the fuck does that mean?
And it's one of the only regrets I think I've ever had in my life, and it has been throughout this. I mean, it's like, what if this and what if that? And I'm not a what if person, but I'll tell you with this, I have been what if, and I wish I'd done a lot of things differently that day. And I still don't know how I missed something.
Ooh, look at her rubbing her.
Especially in that state of hypervigilance, and I just don't
state of high.
So
she corrected herself right there. I feel like.
Otherwise, I'm going to kind of leave everything after.
Oh, okay.
After the cops get there and all, everything else off the table, because, I think it's those first few minutes and hours that are crucial, maybe the day before, the weeks before. But,
we don't know.
I still, in my soul and gut, believe that Candace had nothing to do with this.
Oh.
Boys had nothing to do with this.
Oh.
I think somebody took Summer. Who? Why? I don't know. I wish I did. But where it concerns answers, I'm no closer than anybody else on the face of the earth right now, and we can all only hope that somebody eventually has an aha moment or figures it out and finds her.
The aha moment.
I know that all of us hope that everybody keeps sharing her information and picture and doesn't forget her, and looks at every little that you see to make sure it's not her. Because, I mean, how many cases of that have been? I mean, a couple of years went by and there they are. So definitely keep your eyes and ears open. And like I said, I know how appearances seem. I understand passes and there, but
Samantha, would it matter if it was? We don't talk like that over here.
And
she is a liar. I mean, we can say that she's a liar, but whether or not she's trans or not shouldn't even matter. She's not, but that shouldn't even be a question, in my opinion. So,
well, but she does cry, and her heart is broke. And I'll tell you that my mom even met her for the first time as we were trying to get us out of the situation we were in, and for that thought she was guilty.
What?
And after meeting her, realized that she'd been dead wrong. So,
okay.
What you see is not always what you get or what you expect, and like I said, we're not besties or anything.
That's true.
But
mixed mom. That's true too.
Look,
not true.
It's out there,
It's all lies, Gavel, for sure.
I mean, when it was, there was a runoff or one of ours had left us without anything or trapped us on purpose, whatever, right? And honestly, hers was less prone than Voldemort to that. And I'll tell you, the violence against us was far worse. There was for all the big deal that the internet makes of what's happening. I have no idea. On a whole, I mean, only a few incidents, like over there. Ours was like an everyday and a different style of abuse, but either way, I can only name a couple times my hand over that way, and those are all public record with you, like y'all got all of those. So, but ours was not, and ours wasn't really reported, and like I said earlier, we're somewhere else now. Still trying to figure things out. Still trying to be free. Still trying to stay safe. But
Oh my Lord.
anyway, just keep sharing Summer's information and stuff. And
Free
like I asked for,
will.
please do not share pictures of my children or private info about them. I would greatly appreciate it. I know they would. They've got some sense of normalcy back after our own situation, and I'd hate for it to be taken from them, or any more taken from them than already has been. So please just, if y'all see something, say something with Summer, okay?
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
And I'm trying to do this in a way that doesn't bother my other neighbors. So all I'm going to say is that one neighbor,
Wow,
despite being closer in a way,
we
can only hear what's coming.
So we did that. So tomorrow we're gonna do a open discussion. Actually, hold on. There was another. Hold up. Wait a minute. Not so fast. I know we just got excited, but I saw something else I wanted to go through while we were doing this before open panel. And sharing that one right. Oh, they're not talking. I don't know why if I close my eyes, I can hear better. I don't know why they thought that would help find Summer, but I mean, whatever. Like, why are they doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is Jody Sue doing this? For what? Why? I wish, Sarah. So June 16th, 2021, she posted that. So the day after. Me too. Okay. Wow. So tomorrow I'm going to do that interview. I'm not sure if I'll be able to share it tomorrow because Mark's going to have to do some editing to it first before we share it. And you guys know, I want to make sure, that I do it the way I was asked to do it so that this person feels safe and comfortable to do so. But we'll do an open panel to discuss this further. If you have other things that you want to bring up, let's do a open panel study session tomorrow. And then I have Tammy going to read, and I want Mark also. Let's pull some cards on Miss Jody Sue. And a lot of people have been asking my thoughts and opinions on Reverend Donna, and I am ready to speak on that now. So I'll be doing that tomorrow as well. So here goes nothing. So thanks for hanging, guys, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. And yes, I've been talking with Gavel, so something exciting on Sunday. So be watching for that for Sunday. I'll let you guys know more tomorrow when she lets me know a little bit more details. So, and Tiffany, please, will you email me your address? I'm gonna go to I promise you, I'm mailing it out tomorrow. So get in my email with that address. I'll do that first thing in the morning, and then I'll send you the shipping. And then I just ask that you share a picture or even do a video or something or both wearing the beautiful necklace to rub it in those bitches' faces. So can't wait to see it. You'll look beautiful in it. Deets on streets. All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.